First I want to say, great. My hat's off to Miami. I knew they would come in here and play well. I knew they wouldn't quit. I knew they would play hard. That's a talented football game. They got Stacy Coley back out there, who's a great football player. And they coached a heck of a game, played a heck of a game. That's what Miami, Florida State's supposed to be about. That's the way it is. That's the way it always is. To me, it was just a tremendous atmosphere for college football. To me, that's one of the greatest rivalries in all of college football. And that game's had so many national implications, so many long, and so many great players in it. And I think that's another one tonight. You have so many great players. A lot of young players on both sides just keep emerging and jumping up. But, more importantly, and I mean this, it's a privilege to be a part of that rivalry. To sit here and say and coach in that game with all the great Miami players, all the great Florida State players, and, we retired, to me, the best linebacker in college football, Marvin Jones. I think that guy's as good as anybody ever played it. And you think how good he was, and he never got a victory in 3 years against Miami. How important this game is, and you don't ever take it for granted how hard it is to win those games. And special. We won. That's Marvin's game. Marvin has a win over Miami now. And most important part of our program, the thing I was proud about tonight, we didn't worry about anything else. We didn't worry about the scoreboard. All we worried about was the next play. And that's how we got to play. Just trust the process. Trust the process of how we do everything. The right outcomes, when the process is right, the outcomes become right. You can't worry about outcomes. I'm not worried about playoffs. I'm not worried about ranking. I'm worried about one thing, getting better each and every week and keep making our team better. That's all we can control. And that's what I'm worried about. Our guys learning how to practice, learning how to train, learning how to compete, learning how right there, no matter what it is, just play the next play. Learning how to sleep, to eat, to do all the right things daily. And if you do those things consistent, you create the right habits, good things happen to you. And that's what this team has got to learn. Because there's a bunch of babies out there. But they grew up tonight. They grew up in a big-time atmosphere. I was extremely proud of them. But we're learning how to get there. Ultimately, we'll find it. But, going in these tough environments, on the road, coming back home, that's the fans were outstanding. What an atmosphere for college football. That doesn't get no better than that now. When that chop gets going now, I hate to say it don't give me goosebumps, but it does. I don't hear it. But, we've been challenged. This team gets challenged in a lot of different ways. And tonight, the offense stepped up. You saw a lot. Our passing game really opened up. You saw a lot of those young receivers making plays. You saw Dalvin Cook, one of the best pure players in college football. That's the most yards there, 222 yards on 22 carries, and wasn't he supposed to play? That guy's something different now. There's something in him that's different. And I'm glad he's on my team. I know that. But, here's our goal as a coach, keep getting the most out of these guys each and every week. And that's what they give it to us, and it ain't all perfect. We ain't perfect. We left a lot of points on that board that had to do with Miami. We had some red zone, tight zone opportunities. We could have got in there, missed a field goal, did this, did that, but you know what? They just kept competing. And I'm proud now. I'm going to watch us grow, and hopefully we can take this to the next step. We're going to play a great Louisville team. We celebrate this 24 hours, move on. It's the next game. Big game, that's what you do here at Florida State. You play in these games. Now you put that one behind you, you go play next week, and you're ready to play Louisville. That's what we got to do. But very proud of them, happy for them, and we're continuing to have our evolution, and hopefully we'll keep growing. Questions?
Jimbo, that was the first time you guys trailed all season. You responded and went right down the field. How impressed were you?
Big time. Because you know why? The look in their eye. And I said it the last 2 weeks at Boston College and making that point at Wake Forest. I didn't like the look in our eye on the sidelines in those moments, even when we had leads and could put games away. You know what I mean? Those guys wanting to win, but not having the look in their eye to win. Talked about it. This tonight, they didn't flinch. Guys, we played the next play. It was there. It was there. Not because it just maturity. They understood. It just takes you got to evolve. You got to go through those experiences to understand what you want. And they didn't blink and went out and executed. Didn't worry about the outcome. Just executed the plays.
The killer instinct you talked about last week, when did it kind of hit you, okay, this team has it in this play?
Well, I'm not saying it still does has it. Just because we responded on one drive. We got to show it every week. And killer instinct to me is how you practice. It's being on time tomorrow for all your meetings, going and getting all your treatment, going to all your classes, doing everything off the field the right way. And then taking it to the field because that's when it's fun. I don't know. This team's still evolving into that, but we're learning.
What did you see from Everett tonight? Maybe that was different from other weeks. Seemed much more comfortable.
He did. Decisive. Played not scared to make a mistake. Playing to make plays. But also still managing the football and taking care of the football. At the same time, you can do that. And trusting his eyes, processing what he saw. You know what I mean? And reacting, not thinking. You can't think in football. It's like, the test, you prepare. I see it, react, play. That's what you got to do. And it happened tonight. He processed it, and that's what I'm proud of. Now he's got to go back and have the same preparation next week and move on.
Jimbo, at what point did you know Dalvin was going to play?
I didn't ever really know because we practiced him a little bit Wednesday. He said he felt good. Practiced him Thursday. Said he felt good. If you practiced him on Monday, he said he would have felt good. That's Dalvin. But I felt after Thursday's practice, we give him a pretty good little, our GPS. We could tell the yardage and the speeds. And what I didn't know was how sore he would be the next Friday. You know what I mean? And how sore he was the next day. And then after Friday he came back, I felt pretty good on Friday evening that he was going to play. You know what I mean? And not because he said so, but because the numbers in his body said so. You know what I mean? We wouldn't have put him out there otherwise.
When you see him throw, what was it, 74, whatever, but that first time he touches the ball, you think, is this guy human?
I just smiled. I just smiled. Hey, I say it every day.
Jimbo, you used Everett Golson's legs a lot more tonight. Was that something you're more comfortable with, or something you saw against Miami, or what was the emphasis behind that?
Do what we got to do to win the game. We have a lot of things we use. There's a lot of things you don't have to. It's about winning the next game and doing what you have to do. You don't show everything. You don't have to do everything. We got a lot of things left in our tank that we'll have to do, but if we'll use them if we have to. But we thought it was needed. We knew they'd score points, and they're an excellent defense that can run. We had to be diverse, and plus we had to have a plan too. If Dalvin got hurt or any of those young guys, we had to create the yards in different ways.
Jimbo, you guys had trouble on third down all night until that final drive, and then Golson, one with his legs, one with his arms. What did he show you in those situations under pressure?
He just made the plays when he had to make them. That's why I disappointed 3 out of 10, and we should have. We had daggone Hawk route for one right there. We overthrew a vertical right there in the end zone, and we had for a touchdown. And just inches, we actually dropped the ball. Dalvin was human. He actually dropped the ball. Would have scored on second down. But in third down, we talked about that. We got it in the third down red zone. And we're usually better than that. We kind of flipped the script a little bit lesser on third down and red zone today than we normally been, but made the big plays in the field. So now what we got to do is combine those. But we trust him, and we knew what he felt good. We felt the calls. We liked the calls going in, and he stepped up. And to me, that's what I said. The look in his eye was different. There was a confidence, and hopefully that can grow. And that's going to happen as he gets used to us calling the game and practicing more.
Jimbo, you had several hits on Kaya from the defensive line, a lot of batted balls. What did you think of your defensive line play tonight?
Good. I mean, I wish we got a little more pressure at times because they did a good job. But, you go blitzing that guy, he exposes you. You know what I'm saying? He's a really good quarterback. But at the end, we got pressure and got hands up and batted balls. And those last 2 drives, I was extremely – because they got hot there in that third quarter. You know what I mean? And they stood up. The defensive line did a great job in that fourth quarter.
And you were in a lot of situations like this last year, but you have a lot of guys playing bigger roles this year. Is there any carryover from last year?
Well,
because
I mean,
they're so young, not really.
But they still have to go do it themselves. You know what I mean? But they do have what they've got in their repertoire is the trust that we know to stay true to the process. That's what we keep. Don't just trust us. Trust your coaching. Trust yourself. That's the big thing. Once they start trusting coaching, but the hardest person to trust in this world is yourself. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to disappoint, and you got to just let it go. And don't be scared. All right, big deal. If you don't make the play, but just go full speed and let it go. And they did that tonight. Now, hopefully they can get over that hump and go.
Your defense was able to contain their running game. Was that part of the plan coming into the game and force them to throw a little more?
Well, I mean, Kyle's going to throw it. I mean, still, when you can run the football and you can stop the run, that's still football. I don't care how much throwing goes into it. And I'm a guy who likes to wing it around as much as anybody. But you've got to be, because the physicality of your team and dominating the line of scrimmage. And we wanted to be able to stop the run, and our defense did a really good job of that tonight.
Miami was 8 of 16 on third down.
They did a nice job.
4 of those came on that one drive. What was it about that drive that they did so different? Was it coverage? What would you say?
It's just rhythm. You see, sports is a rhythm. It's a momentum. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you feel it, you see it, what's hard, what I was proud about, they got the momentum of the game in the second half. Our guys flipped it on offense. Then we flipped it on offense, got it back down. Our defense, who had been giving that up, come back for 2 straight drives and did it. But it just, they got in a rhythm and got the play calls, and they hit the right call or the guy makes the right throw. I mean, sometimes even you make a good defensive call, they make a play. You know what I mean? They got in a rhythm, and those guys, they got good receivers now and good quarterback.
Do you think you lost Dalvin on that when he came off?
I didn't know. When he first come off, he said no. He said it started till I caught it.
Really?
He said it just got tight. I just felt it get tight, so I went down when everyone loosened it back up and took off.
Jimbo, did you feel like go ahead, Corey.
Hey, that's a first for everything.
Did you feel like you had to feel like you left some points out there?
Oh, no doubt.
You could have been up by maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns.
There's no, I mean, there were inches on the Kermit throw. You know what I mean? Then we're inches. Dalvin drops the ball on the flat. Then the next play we overthrow the vertical. Then we miss a field goal. Then we go for it on 4th down. I think we got those 3 points back because we held them and got them back. You know what I mean? But we wanted to play to win the game. You know what I mean? And sometimes in big games like that you do, but you're right. We left points in the red zone down there, and there's a lot. I say there's still a lot you got to clean up. But when you play those emotional games like that, you just got to pass it on, go to the next play, and keep playing.
But Florida State in this rivalry has had a history of maybe leaving points on the
And then get beat.
I guess maybe
You talking about a high snap on a field goal in 1987?
a lot of that kind of stuff. In settling for field goals in the red zone, but tonight I guess their offense made sure it didn't matter.
This team, it didn't. They just played the next play and did what they had to do, and that's learning how to win and learning, expecting to win, and having the culture to win.
Offensively, whether it was throwing the ball or running the ball, did you feel that you could take advantage on the boundaries?
Yeah, we did. We liked our playing. I said going in, I liked our playing this week as much as anything. I felt very good about how we executed, and more so because we executed it in practice. You know what I mean? I'm seeing us, we didn't leave as many plays on the practice field as we had. I mean, the last couple of weeks, I've been saying, we've been leaving plays on the practice field. Guess what? We've been leaving them on the game field. We had those same opportunities in the other game. We just didn't do it. Now, hopefully, we can learn from that and go next week. All right.
But with the way this defense has played, Miami had the ball in that last drive. Did you have any doubt that they weren't going to stop Miami?
No, I felt very good. But, hey, anytime, I'd rather have the ball. I'd rather have the ball at the end. But our defense does rise up. There's so many character guys. And, you know, I mean, all right, Marcus, those guys were bad. Just calm down. Radio. We're having fun. You beat Miami. We'll stay here and tell Gene he can sit there and talk a little bit. Just keep jabbering down there. All right, this is Miami, Florida State. You don't win 6 in a row very often. Calm down. They ain't gonna quit talking. I can down and talk anyway.
Jimbo, you guys were missing offensive linemen.
Yeah, we lost Kareem R. We left Kareem R. in practicing Thursday. We didn't know until before the game. We know he didn't play Maverick. He stepped up and played the whole game. That guy can be a big time player for us.
But you guys just overcoming. You had a lot of guys out. A lot of.
Exactly. Terrence Smith. How big was Nate getting back in the game? So and then having with Trey Marshall off the field. I mean that hurts because Trey's such a in our secondary back. We had a lot of guys we didn't have out there. Like I say, we're not full strength, but guys, that's football. Everybody has it, and the world don't care. You got to move on. Next guy up. Next guy got to play.
How big is this for recruiting?
Huge for recruiting. Huge for everything. Just the history of the rivalry and in the state and what we're doing. I mean it's big, really big.
That was a tough moment for Trey when he had to leave the field. It was
a tough moment for me.
Well,
a tough moment for Charlie.
But as far as the team, the defense, growing through that, you're getting closer to plug and play.
We are. We guys get in. Nate last week, Terrence last week, Trey this week. You know what I mean? Those young guys. That's what I tell those young guys. You never know when it's ready, and I'm proud of them. It's a great job. All right, I got to go. All right, thanks. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach. You know I don't like being told what.